Most people don't lose arguments because they're wrong. They lose because they don't notice when the game changes. It never starts with shouting. It never starts with obvious lies. It starts with a subtle shift, a tiny redirection, a moment where the focus quietly moves, and you don't realize it. 1 second you're asking a simple question. The next second you're defending your tone, explaining your intentions, apologizing for bringing it up. And later that night, you replay the conversation thinking, wait, how did that become my fault? If that feels familiar, stay with me, because today you're going to see the 5 most common ways manipulators shift the frame of a conversation. And at the end, I'll give you one sentence that shuts the entire pattern down. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. 1. They turn your question into an attack. You ask, "Why did you say something different yesterday?" They respond, "Why are you attacking me?" Notice what just happened. You asked about behavior. They reframed it as aggression. Now the spotlight isn't on what they did. It's on how you're speaking. Your nervous system reacts instantly. Your heart rate shifts slightly. You feel the need to soften your tone. "I'm not attacking. I was just asking." And just like that, you stepped into defense. This is the first frame shift, turning accountability into accusation. Because if they can make you feel like the aggressor, you'll abandon the original question to protect the peace. 2. They question your trust instead of their behavior. "Don't you trust me?" This one feels emotional, intimate, personal, but it's strategic. The moment they say this, you're no longer discussing facts. You're now defending your loyalty. And here's the trap. Trust isn't proven through debate. It's proven through consistency. But instead of demonstrating honesty, they demand belief. And now you're stuck explaining why you're doubting them, instead of them explaining what actually happened. That's power reversal. 3. They minimize the issue. "Are you really going to make a big deal out of this?" This is gaslighting in a polished suit. They're not minimizing the event. They're minimizing you. They want you to feel dramatic, oversensitive, immature. Because if they can shrink your emotional reaction, they can bury the truth underneath it. And suddenly you're defending your feelings instead of examining their actions. This tactic works because most people don't want to seem unreasonable, so they retreat. 4. They hunt the source. Who told you that? This question isn't about clarity, it's about control. They're not looking for truth, they're looking for exposure points. They want to know who revealed them, who might speak again, who they need to intimidate or discredit. And once again, the frame shifts. Now the conversation is about your source, not their behavior. Truth stands on its own. Only lies are afraid of where information came from. 5. They force you to justify the question. What exactly are you accusing me of? Sounds reasonable, but it's another power move. Now you're on trial. You're explaining your wording, your tone, your right to even ask. Instead of answering, they escalate. Instead of clarifying, they challenge. And the longer you defend your phrasing, the further the original issue fades. Now here's what all 5 tactics have in common. They create movement, emotional movement, defensive movement, explanatory movement. Manipulation feeds on motion. The more you react, the more control slips away. And that brings us to the sentence, the reset, the anchor, the line that stabilizes the frame no matter what tactic they use. Answer the question. That's it. No sarcasm, no raised voice, no lecture, just calm repetition. Answer the question. When they say, "Why are you attacking me?" you say, "I'm not attacking. Answer the question." When they say, "Don't you trust me?" you say, "This isn't about trust. Answer the question." When they say, "You're overreacting," you say, "Maybe. Answer the question." Then stop talking. Silence is pressure, and pressure reveals character, because now they only have two options: answer or visibly avoid answering. And visible avoidance exposes more than any confession ever could. Here's the deeper truth. You don't lose these moments because you're weak. You lose because you value harmony. You don't want escalation. You don't want drama. You don't want conflict. Manipulators exploit that instinct. But calm stability is not aggression. Holding the frame is not hostility. It's clarity. And clarity is power. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling smaller than when you entered it, that wasn't random. That was a frame shift. And now you know how to see it. If this kind of real psychological awareness matters to you, subscribe. Because this channel isn't about surface-level advice. It's about understanding the invisible dynamics happening in everyday conversations. Now, I want you to think about something. Have you ever been in an argument where the topic shifted so much that by the end, you couldn't even remember what it started with? If you have, comment. Frame shift. I want to see how many people have experienced this without knowing what to call it. Stay steady, stay aware, and never let someone quietly rewrite the frame while you're busy defending yourself.